Professor Obiora Okonkwo is a Nigerian academic, businessman, and politician. He joins us on Jigsaw to examine the challenges before INEC chairman and the road to 2027 general election.
All right, like you heard here, our guest is here, Professor Obiora Okonkwo. He's a politician, academic, businessman, so many other things in between, including being a philanthropy and airline operator. He's the spokesperson for the airline operators of Nigeria. That's the local airline operators. Prof, good to see you.
Thank you, Gbenga. It's always good to be around.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Maybe we should start from that. Spokesperson of the airline operators of Nigeria. So many things are happening. At least one Nigerian airline, we understand now, is making direct flight from Lagos and Abuja to Europe and all of that. And I hear that your airline is also planning something like that. I don't know how soon that will be.
We're coming up. As a matter of fact, that Nigerian airline is not a secret airline. It's Airpeace.
We don't want to give them cheap publicity here. Also when they're not paying.
Please, that is worth it. Please allow us to mention it. It's Airpeace that are doing Nigeria proud, doing operators great. And
when I had Festus Kayamu on that occasion, a ticket that would ordinarily cost me about $8,000 to $10,000.
Yeah.
Will cost you just about, is it 1,000 he said? Or,
no, not
1,000 or 3,000.
Yes, but
$3,000.
Yes, those are part of the benefits, but there are a lot more. The pride that is Nigeria is more important than how much you pay for the ticket. The pride that we're overcoming the obstacles, that had been a big issue for us for a very long time. For me, it's more important than how much you pay. Even if you are paying the same price like any operator, it's a different pride that I'm sitting in an aircraft of Nigeria affiliation. So for me, yes, it's one of those benefits. It's great news. So the aviation industry...
Is that a challenge to United Nigeria, for instance?
Oh yes. For us, it's a baby step. We are, like the minister even mentioned in that occasion, we're already almost there to be flying continentally and across the Atlantic, going to the U.S. And we're making our first leap on November 10. We're going to Ghana, as our first
international
outside Nigeria. So you have to start gradually, master
from short haul to long haul.
That's what it is. So the exciting about it is that the aircraft that is going to Ghana, we had named Lieutenant Jerry Rawlings, the former president of Ghana.
It's not from Nigeria. Why don't
it's not from Nigeria, but it'll be 5 years of his death this November, and he's a Pan-Africanist, and what we're trying to do, we're not just flying. We're uniting. We've been uniting Nigerians. Now we're uniting Africa. And empowering developments. These are the ideals which somebody like him stood for. He's a great hero of people like us who put high premium on integrity and high reputation of war against corruption. So I think it's great. The family is quite excited about it. They're waiting for our touchdown in Ghana. The aircraft is on ground, and we see how that goes.
Well, maybe when that happens, we'll find time to bring you back, and then we can talk more about happenings in the aviation.
That would be great, because a whole lot is happening.
Yeah, I know a whole lot is happening.
Yeah,
we'll find another time to do that.
Great.
So let's focus on pressing political and other national issues.
Great, it's always a pleasure. You are the master of the game.
A few days from now, your state will be going for governorship election.
Yeah.
And I'm just surprised that you are not on the ballot. Because the last time you were here, you said that if there's anybody who can give Governor Soludo a run for his money, that it is you. And I'm shocked that as we're counting down to the hours, the days and the hours to that election, your name is not on the ballot.
Yes, it is not. I wouldn't have inserted my name.
What happened?
Because Soludo knew exactly that what I said there was right. And he did everything possible for me not to be on the ballot, because for him, it was better for him to fight the election before the election. So he actually used everything he had to fight for me not to be on the ballot of APC. Because if I had been there, obviously, it would have been a different ballgame.
So it's a question of let me work for where the resistance is least.
Yes, that's the point. And he got it. He won, actually. He won. I think he really won. He won that battle. And for us, me, I'm not that desperate person who wants to be governor by all means. But I've made a commitment to myself and God that I will never be indifferent in the issue of Nigerian political affairs. And where possible, I'll make myself available. But the rest should be the will of God. So I didn't need to fight beyond what I was able to put up. So we see, and as you can see, it looks like he started celebrating his victory
already
as soon as I was off the ballot.
So you have the opinion that the person who is flying your party's flag may not be able to put up the same challenge that you would have put up. Even if people like you are now throwing your weight behind that candidate, will it make a difference?
I mean, Nicholas Ukachukwu is my good friend, and he's got great political will and strength. And
he's come a long way.
And he has been around for a long
for
time.
A long time.
So he's a hard-to-crack politician. But however, there are a whole lot of difference. Sometimes this is about mathematics. He's from the South, all right? And the current governor is from the South. And you can see he's upping the campaign mantra, 4 is better than 8. So I am from Central. And obviously, there are a whole lot of other things that would have worked out if I had emerged as a candidate from Central. The North would have joined Central to fight. And then that would have been over for Soludo. But you can never tell. Nicholas, I want to believe, is working hard. He could come.
Is the APC working hard to make his dream?
Well, it's obvious that I haven't seen much coming from APC from here. That is not a secret, because normally on a major campaign of this nature, APC would have been on ground. There would have been a national campaign council, there would have been a campaign flag off, there would have been everybody from local government to local government. Nothing like that is going on. But again, you can never tell. I want to believe that my good friend and brother Nicholas is keeping the game to his chest. He's got something going for him anyway, because Soludo actually has a lot to do to prove to people that he deserves a second tenure. But I'm just watching. Ever since I bowed out of the race willingly, I have been very, very busy. For me, I don't
busy doing your business.
Politics is not a profession for me; it's a vocation.
You have so many.
I give it time. When the time comes, then I face my business. So I have.
So many things would actually have suffered if somebody like you had campaigned vigorously and then you become governor. So many things will have to be set aside. Businesses that you are involved in, the airline, of course, the students that drink from your well of experience and all of that.
Oh, yes, there's always something they have to sacrifice.
You won't be governor and still going to the university to lecture.
There's always
you'll be willing to do that.
There's always something you have to sacrifice for the other. But I think that as far as business is concerned, I have put up reasonably a very good structure that the business would work on its own without me. Those moments have been out there in the field campaigning it had not actually affected business. Our business is on autopilot, and that's one thing. But again, I'm not retired yet. if I'm out of politics, and then I have to go back to business. There's always a role for me to play. But in terms of education, I had seen lecturing as a way to offer back to the society because, you know, unfortunately, most people assess corporate social responsibility and pay back to society as only financial, when it's financial and material. But the best and biggest thing anybody can have today is knowledge and know-how.
Yeah.
So
and
that more knowledge and mentoring I am offering. It might interest you to know, so I'm not paid for my lecturing job.
I know.
It's pro bono. So when I am not lecturing to offer that, on my seat as a governor, I will have a whole lot more to do that will benefit people. So for me, either way,
society benefits.
Society benefits. Governorship is a big platform that we know what is what beyond what some people are interpreting it today.
Yeah.
Because some governors see it as the only place to be at the peak of the protocol, you know, to enrich themselves and empower their families and cronies. That's not what it is all about. You can still do that. And there are a lot more that will benefit a whole lot of people and leave a great legacy. And obviously, help me my only ambition left in this life, which is to go to heaven.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah, that's the only ambition.
What you said about Anambra now just got me thinking that could it be true? Because before now there had been speculation that the APC was willing to sacrifice Anambra for Soludo because eventually Soludo will find his way to the APC. So the APC probably is not even interested in that election.
Well, you see, the party goes for election.
Yeah.
And if the party is not putting their foot down and rolling the sleeves, there is a lot to be worried about. It is not unconnected also to the reason why I had to take a step backward. But nevertheless, this is quite unusual. We haven't seen that happening anywhere.
But that's why I said so that this is the first time I've seen the APC not interested in an election like we've seen in the past. I saw almost all the leaders in Ekiti yesterday holding the primaries to pick the governorship candidate for that state.
Yeah.
That's a party that is interested in that state.
Yes. Yeah, at the beginning, at some point, there was a great interest. Because when I declared interest to run, the party approached me. And actually had to convince me and had to answer questions of this nature that they really wanted Anambra State. And we started off with that. You could hear at some point the then chairman was very vocal, the then secretary was very vocal. I remember the famous talker, we're going to give him red card. Yeah, that was when they were just, when we were working, when it was me, when we were working together. But at some point, you know, it became obvious that the man there was just, you know, he just was able to run for his life and and did what I don't want to. Do you sense that there's a kind of pact between Governor Soludo and the APC? Yes, obviously there is. He had this way.
If you don't rock the boat, I will eventually join you.
He had this way, and that was why when he became...
And he's been speaking glowingly about the APC government at the center. So that also suggests that this man may actually be romancing the APC to allow him a soft passage to second term, and maybe eventually he may be part of the APC family. Yeah,
we've seen governors move over. You know, there's no doubt.
And if he doesn't do it, he will be almost lonely in the southeast.
There's no doubt there is some understanding going on, and it's actually not done because it's Soludo. It's done because part of the strategy of the president is to be in bed with some governors who would in turn also be critical in his re-election bid. That's part of it. So if it would have been Gbenga as governor of Anambra, I think that would have been accorded to you. And to some extent, you can't fault if that's what they want. So, and for me, I got no time to waste. So there were a lot of discussions that went behind the scene, a lot of negotiations and understanding. And it was very, very obvious and great excitement that they're going to get Anambra. And it was there. So, but when the governor realized that, obviously, I mean, he had to do what he had to do, and promise was kept, and then that's it, So that's the much that it is. But I'm fine, I just wish the will of God to happen on November 8th.
Anyhow it goes, Anambra will be peaceful. Anambra is not known for
Political
pre and post-election violence.
Yeah,
it's not known for that.
Pretty much so. Yeah, pretty much so, yeah. But the election should be beyond violence. It should be benefits of leadership and democracy. There's no doubt that Anambra deserve a whole lot more than they're getting today. And it's always a big concern that if much is not done in the first tenure, second tenure is usually not
a leisure walk.
So I hope it should not be the case. And Soludo is my friend, like I told you. I would have been happier if he's running this election on the premise of what he had achieved in 4 years. But few occasions had come across what are the campaign issues. It's more or less of what he will do. What he will do again, things that he will be doing in the 4 years, which I think is a little bit of worry and concern for me. People should be judged not by what they say, but what they do.
Not by what they promise, but what they have done.
Especially if you're going for second tenure. Yeah.
Okay, let's make the discussion a bit national now. We have a new INEC chairman.
Yeah.
Well, despite all the hue and cry before he was nominated, the president should not nominate, the president should not have the power to nominate INEC chairman. After all, it's going to be a partaker in the election that the INEC would supervise and all of that. Let's have some reforms, donate the power to some other body, but we didn't achieve all of that. The president still nominated. The Council of State agreed with him. The Senate didn't take hours before the screen and confirmed him.
As usual, right?
So we have Professor Josh Amukpito as the new INEC chairman. First, your reaction to that?
I congratulate him.
Yeah. Have you followed his trajectory?
Yes, I did. His nomination was in line with the processes. Yes, there would have been those who thought it would have been differently, but the Constitution is very clear on the process of nomination, and I think Mr. President went through the process, and now we have a new INEC chairman. If there are changes to be made, until that changes are made, Mr. President has not violated any constitution. So I congratulate him, and I hope he would learn from the past mistakes of his predecessors and know that he is better judged by what he's able to do and not the promise. He has been speaking, very well, all that we need to hear. Yeah. But again, and
giving the necessary sound bites.
The sound bites are very good and positive, but we've had a whole lot
the necessary push-ups.
We've had a lot more than that. Yeah. But the issue is that at this point, the Nigerians should know that we're all part of the ecosystem that determines the success of INEC chairman and his team. Come to think of it, he just got in there as INEC chairman, and we will not expect him in 1 year or 2 years to know better than everyone. The problem we do make as people is that we are happy to stay in our armchair and hallucinate how things should be, and then blame and criticize. We have the press today who I expect to move in strongly and set the right agenda. We have the people, the public, who would watch the man by his word, calling him out at every point in time. that he sits down there as an ex-chairman, he's not coming with a superior knowledge than you, who has been in the system, than the public, than the press. But we do make a mistake to abandon these things when they get there. Let's say the case of a governor. You might see somebody who is a messenger to a governor, and governor wants a predecessor. He now picks his own person who's loyal to him, install him on that seat. Everyone around surrenders every knowledge and ideas to that governor. They expect him to have the best knowledge on how to tackle the security. But meanwhile, this guy has never even managed a private gate man in his house. They expect him to solve all the problems of economy. This guy had never created wealth. He has never, he has just been pushed over there. And we sit back, and that's what makes me actually start thinking of a lecture series, you know, opposite of what my townsman and uncle Chino Achebe had said, then that the problem of Nigeria is leadership. As much as there are some sense to it then, but today more of the problems are the followers. Gbenga, if we tighten our belt and say, hey, you want to lead us here, we will lead with you. We will lead with you. Yeah. We must not allow this to happen. It doesn't have to be by demonstration on the street and everything, but close marking. The man, you know, and if there are people who are clapping for the man for doing good, face them. And this person, we're all Nigerians. If we're, look, the reason why I wouldn't see you and slap you if you get on my nerves is because I know there are consequences. You might have the power to slap back, I might face the law, you know, and then I restrict myself. The reason why those people who here contravene the laws in Nigeria is because they can get away with it. Exactly. But the same person goes to any country where nobody looks at the faces, try to behave. So it's the same person. As soon as he gets into Nigeria, where he can get away with things, he changes. So I am advocating today that in as much as I believe that there are a whole lot to be done from leadership, if leaders, the procurement and selection process for leaders are not giving us the right leaders who are groomed, who are prepared, then let the people that are being led form a way to hold these leaders accountable.
My take from this is you're advocating for a kind of collegiate leadership.
That's what
where all of us are part of the leadership.
Are part of the leadership.
How do we apply this in the case of Adam? Because some people have said that it takes more than one person to make things happen in INEC. If an election is going to be okay, it's not the INEC chairman that will make it okay. It takes a group of people to make it okay. So we're looking at the INEC chairman. With him, we have commissioners that he has no control over because they enjoy the same tenure with him. He cannot sanction any of them. They are not loyal to him per se. They are loyal to some other person, the same person that appoints him. Outside of the national board, you have resident electoral commissioners in the states that are also independent of the chairman. And during election, they are not necessarily subservient to him. Below those resident electoral commissioners, you have secretaries in the different states. Below them, you have electoral officers. And then below those people, on election day, you have thousands and thousands of ad hoc staff. All of these people play roles in an election. So if an election is going to be okay, it's not just one man at the apex that will make it okay. It is all of these chains of people.
Absolutely, Gbenga, that's exactly what I am saying. Because we do sometimes think that the good about outcome of election is just the results counted. It's a process. And a lot of people are involved. And as a matter of fact, INEC chairman has little or nothing to do with an umbrella election. He's not an agent.
He's not the resident electoral commissioner.
He's not rec. He's not ad hoc staff. He's not the returning officer. He's still in Abuja. And we have seen cases where people were deployed, to carry out some agenda, and where people had come together. I remember the one case of election in Osun State. The policeman who had gone there narrated the whole story. One of those time APC was battling the people in Abuja. And this man will say that no matter where they hide to strategize what they would do, he gets a call. I know where you are. I know what you are planning. And if you try to do that, you cannot come out of there alive. He moves to another secret place. And then they will get another call. Before you know it, you see people gather around and say, if we throw this egg on that building, it will catch fire. And after that, the man said, I knew that, look, I can't be part of this. And he had to totally surrender. So the will of the people prevail. But if there were no people who were marking people, and don't think it should be me or it should be that person, everyone has to be involved. So when they know that there are consequences to do that, then they will buckle up. So in as much as we expect a whole lot from the next chairman, yes, if he deploys people, he's sitting in Abuja. He will probably not be in Anambra. Even if he goes, he just maybe...
In addition to the REC there, one or two other RECs maybe also be deployed to assist the REC in Anambra. And probably you have a national commissioner from Abuja who will also be there. Just symbolic. Not that he has any role to play too.
You cannot determine who he has the choice to send who he wants to send. But we can say, send the person we're here, starting from the polling booth. We've seen occasion where the people's will prevail. They gathered. It doesn't have to be with gun or bullets. No, just show we are interested in the outcome of this election. If he's talked about, those are human beings. And so let's not put so much expectations on the chairman. What are we doing now? What are you doing in your show? What are the newspaper houses doing? What are the people who are influencing opinions? Are they actually dealing with the right topic instead of just talking about who should have been there or who should not be there? He's there already. Now let's set our agenda. Let's drive the discussions and focus on what we expect.
Like you said, advocated, it's a collective responsibility on all of us. Talking about collective responsibility, as somebody who has been in the electoral process for quite a while now, what will you identify for him as the areas that he should focus on urgently? Because 2027 is just around the corner.
Well, I do really not think that it's healthy at every stage of national election. We start chunking out new rules and laws and electoral acts and changing the constitution.
The electoral act you see
because I really think that our electoral process had evolved sufficiently a whole lot from 1999 up to date.
That we should have stability in that area.
But I'm not saying there are not much to be done. But for what we have today, if it can be observed to the latter, it will still give us some level of decent outcome. That's the problem. Is not about the laws we have, but the problem is about knowing that these are the laws and trying to go against it. I am very concerned that at every point in time, if you have a new college in the National Assembly, they will just want to amend the law to suit their personal interest. Because some of these laws we do amend, people don't think of it how it will be tomorrow, beyond them. It's about how is it going to give me the control, how is it going to favor our agenda and strategy. That's really very, very disturbing. So I really think that they have to focus on implementing what is right. And the judiciary also. There are laws that will prosecute electoral offenders. I don't know how far we have gone with that. We need to make progress with that.
Yeah, we have laws, but the question is who carries it forward from there.
So that's the...
INEC says it is too burdened to add that extra burden of having to go all over the country prosecuting people who had infringed on the electoral
So
process.
let me suggest that...
So everybody is saying, okay, create a new body.
So even if
take
it's
up
not
that
INEC,
responsibility.
where a government, and I'm not a lawyer, I might not be expert in the procedure, but why can't we call an MBA to get a fiat from...
The Nigerian Bar Association.
The Nigerian Bar Association to get a fiat from Ministry of Justice or whatever authority
do it pro bono.
and do it for, prosecute. If INEC, because it's a whole lot of legal resources on INEC, let it be part of their contribution to this issue of holding people accountable. And MBA
would that be ad hoc basis or institutionalize it? Because people are looking at something more institutionalized.
Let it be the rule. The constitution is already there.
Yeah.
It's not their body to prosecute. It's INEC body. We have cases where it is the responsibility of Minister of Justice, whether state or federal, to prosecute, but whereby they are not available to. An individual, another interested party could get a fiat and then carry out with the prosecution, whether somebody is paying or problem. But MBA as a body should sit down with the new INEC chairman and find out the concern and the burden they are having on this aspect and try to see if there's a way they can comment and make sure that these things are handled. But don't forget also, before they come, they're not going to arrest. They're not going to investigate. Or they can only present in the court. When they finish with the INEC chairman, they go to the place. Let them work. Let it be their contribution in this whole deal of collegiate involvement and participation.
Perhaps maybe something like what we normally have before election. Before election day, INEC, the law requires that those who we administer the post-election stage are already in place. That's judges for the election tribunal and all of them. It's a requirement of law that they must be appointed before the election day. So probably too, before election day, NBA already draws up a list of some of his members that are willing to offer pro bono services for prosecution of electoral offenders. And that list is also published. And everybody knows that. That's where INEC will draw from in prosecuting those cases.
Yeah,
so that it's streamlined.
It could be one of those. And I'm also sure that if MBA takes it up, they can also...
And institutionalizes it.
Yeah, one of their stopover places could be with the judiciary, who appoints, they could even ask for special courts. And have a new practice direction. They have to go and demand for a new practice direction for trying or electoral offenders. It doesn't have to be something that will go through the normal process for 1 year, 2 years. Special courts, 3 months, finished.
And a special practice direction on how such cases should proceed.
So, yeah, they can go and demand for it. This can be, these are part of things I'm talking about. We have to get involved from the institutions, from individuals. But until it could be one of the ways to hold people accountable. Which professor will want to tarnish his image for ending up in prison or even having a criminal after years? What about his family? So I really think that these are part of things I'm calling on, and I hope that our listening probably take a clue. We may not know other things that are beyond legally, procedural, but they're in a better position than you and I to look into that if they make it an agenda.
Well, what about the issue of where the new chairman has already said he's committed to the little level of technology that has been introduced into the electoral process already? That is the issue of beavers. It has come to stay. If anything at all, it is probably to also, keep having upgrades of that device.
It's just like what I said.
The IRF.
Gbenga, there are enough rules on ground. There are enough procedures on ground, but it's just to follow it truthfully and sincerely. Why is it that technology works for the banks? and they get result. But when it comes to INEC, it has frictions. Why is it that it works for one of the biggest things that is helping Nigerian operators is that good number of us have become innovative and had become technology compliant and creative. So we're benefiting from the magic of technology. That's why today I'm not worried about what happens with my ticket sales because everything is online. You know who had paid. The payments, over 90% of payments are through the payment system.
Yeah.
It works. And people do these payments everywhere they die in Nigeria. Yeah. In your village, you don't have to travel to the capital
to be able to buy
a ticket. People pay online. Yeah. Why is it that when it comes to INEC, they say there's a problem?
You have to physically carry.
They just gotta be sincere, you know. So I really think that technology is the way to go, and if they plan to. They will make it work. Let's not even bother ourselves in thinking of new laws.
That you should concentrate more energy in innovating that process.
You don't even innovation. You don't even any innovation. It's already there. The energy should be to allow it to work. For those things not to be working, and for all those frivolous reasons that are given, they are intentional. There's no reason why it should not work. I've given you instances. Yeah. Is it not the same technology that make people use their phone?
The same
technology
phone where somebody of your ATM card.
What are you talking about?
It's almost like your voter card.
What are you talking about?
You slot vote somewhere and it brings out your identity. You slot in your ATM card in the machine, it brings out your particular.
Honestly speaking, if I see him going into the issue of innovation, upgrading, it's a wide good chase. He's trying to divert our attention, and I don't want to be the same with that. For me, 2027 is by the corner. Make what we have work.
Yeah.
We will get.
If you say beavers will be used for election and will be used to transmit the result after, it should be so.
It's not even to make it work. Let me put it in a barrel. Allow it to work. Be sincere with implementation. That's all we need, honestly speaking. Instead of being sabotaging the process and then under any disguise.
Yeah. Okay. Let me bring in something close to that. I'm sure that at one point you had been in diaspora Nigeria.
Yeah.
Do you think those millions of Nigerians who repatriate so much back home in diaspora remittances should not have a voice in how Nigeria is governed? I'm leading to diaspora voting.
Yeah, I am a strong advocate for diaspora involvement in voting process. And I've talked publicly about it. They deserve to be counted. Huge population. For anyone who is having any complaint about it, maybe because of system, ways, and how, is somebody who knows they will not favor him or her. If it's good enough for these guys to wire their earnings back to Nigeria and do other transactions, as a matter of fact, there is a special banking window now which they can use to do their transactions in Nigeria, transfer and do all those. It's the same technology. So there is no reason why they should not, if not for selfish interests of those who think maybe they cannot vote, pay them to vote. All right? Or maybe they might not be able to manipulate the outcome of their vote, or that those people might just vote for the right reasons. All right? So this is the only reason. For anybody who loves this country and really is committed to free and fair electoral process, he must support that. And the technology today is just there for that to happen, just you know, at a snap. So I don't think INEC already had a platform. They don't need to go back to create another backbone. It should be an addition. You know, it should be an ancillary introduction to what they have. Yeah.
The Electoral Act is not ready, and yet it's been amended. And it's been amended, and it's going to cover the 2027 election. And there are some provisions that the lawmakers are already telling us will be in the new act. For instance, they are planning early election. Early election, when there's early election, which is for people like us who will not be chanced on election day to vote, policemen, journalists, health workers, and all of that. That's part of the innovation. I like your comment on that. But the one that is more curious to me is the fact that there's a provision they are considering, which is to ensure that all disputes arising from an election are resolved before the winners are sworn in. So the only way to achieve that for 2027 is for the elections to come earlier than originally slated. Before, the elections had been slated for February of 2027. So, but if this provision says true now, that means we should expect election next year. We should expect the general election next year. Sometime in November or so.
You see, that aspect of the law is very, very critical. So whatever sacrifice we need to make to allow that happen is very important. I tell you why. Part of the reasons why so many things are done by a crook or by force in the electoral process is, let me just be sworn in.
And then I take it from there.
I will take it from there. So once somebody who is a sitting governor has all the advantages. But the best, there are some of these best election lawyers who can never be a lawyer to somebody who is outside government. They only are lawyers of the incumbent.
Yeah.
All right? And he has enough resources to get that done. Some members of National Assembly, it might interest you to know, I'm not revealing any secret. Some of them, in the course of the election, got exhausted, sold everything they have. But when they are sworn in and they are facing their litigation, you know, the only surviving source of funds is even advanced money they borrow. You remember there was a time in this country when some banks would advance, if you are a senator, as soon as you come in, they advance you like 200 million.
Yes.
And then, no, senators 300 million, House of Rep members 200 million.
Was it really happening that time?
Oh, no, it was. And then and this money now, then you tie your future earnings to the bank. Yeah, some of them burned their fingers on it because some of them left. You know, they were stuck by the court and they never had any opportunity to pay back. So now they're making it until you finish your court cases. You know, so you can imagine the disadvantage the other person has. So I really think that it's a very critical aspect that if you can achieve.
Is it a win-win for everybody? Because what this means is that nobody will have any upper hand.
It's a win-win. And some people will say have upper hand, but you know, because if you have a governor who is there,
and he's going for second,
and he's going for second term, he still has to, yeah. So that's there. And if you have a governor who is sitting on people's resources, you know, it's just like we have in Anambra State today. For Christ's sake, you know, Soludo was a professor, appointed a CBN governor. And if we have to tell ourselves the truth, you know, having left the office, we know we're at the status of things. And today you're a governor, and all the things you are doing with money, is it from your inheritance? Is it from your inheritance, or if it's from your retirement? So we know all those things. So let's really, you know, the fairest thing to do is let it be cleared before you are sworn in. It is unfair for somebody to be inside. And imagine a situation where you are a member of National Assembly, and during your tenure, you have to confirm Chief Justice of Nigeria. You have to confirm other people who are involved, and you're a member of the committee. I mean, you know, it's not fair. So I think this is very critical. Allowing all those other people on special duties and assignments to vote is also very, very important. But these things are okay, but even if we don't get them all in before 2027, the reason for litigation is when you feel that something has gone wrong. And the more litigations we have out of electoral projects is because a lot of things go wrong through the process. If we can have a free and fair,
transparent,
reasonably transparent process, the litigation process will reduce to just 10%.
That's cool.
You will know that 90% of people will just be happy and walk away and have a handshake. This is so part of what we should be looking at. So I really think that, like I believe, any law still has room for improvement with time. But what we have also can give us a fairly good deal in the electoral process. Yeah.
All right, Prof. How would you want us to end? We have just a couple of minutes to go.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about security. We have new service chiefs and all of that. Do you have something else in mind?
No, it's good. It is the prerogative of Mr. President to appoint and sack service chiefs. If he has chosen to do it this time, the service chiefs have been there for about 2 years, and usually before Buhari became the president, it looked like their tenure was just about 2 years. So this is within a time that is within the range. I do know that some of them still have some years in service, and they will probably were expecting that they will run out their time because they have not, they are not retired yet. But that doesn't happen that way, because even for some of them to be appointed, maybe you are a junior officer, sub-officers, we are retired, who still have time in service. So there's nothing in this that is against this process. For me, I go for process. Is the process right? Are the constitution followed? All right, so I wouldn't be bothered with why they were appointed, why they were sacked. But rather
Even if
again,
it had to do with rumors of coup and all of that.
well, Ukumo remains a rumor. But what for me, the way I carry out in my life, there are things I want to bother about rumoring. But the issues about rumor, if it's a coup, like we know, there are public trials. Because the consequences of coup is very, very...
It's never final.
It's a felony. It has to be tried in the open, and they must have to provide evidence. You wouldn't hear one day, and this is a civilian regime, that some people have been shot publicly because of coup. So it's okay until they are brought and tried. And don't forget, rumor. It's also, if you're a leader and there's a rumor of a coup, you must have to act.
That's true.
So there's nothing wrong in that yet. So, but for me, I think, again, I'm calling on Nigerians and those who have a voice to also join hands to set the agenda for the new service chiefs on the area of security. Let's interrogate their program, all right, and then call them out where they have done wrong. We will not just sit back and react to their mistakes. We can also, they're human beings. Maybe they're watching this program, they're taking away something out of it, and others, they read newspapers, they read editorials, they're reporting. Let's just tell all those things to be helpful to them. And then sometimes we need to engage people who have the knowledge. Investigative journalism, write certain things that will also inspire them, and make them, learn on what to do. These things are not rocket science. If you want, you can research, but what is the intention? Let it be that they are coming there with a good intention, all right? But do I have anything, to worry about that? The process we have followed, Mr. President had exercised his power within his jurisdiction and
do you think we are headed in the right direction under this government?
It depends. But I really think that we have a government in place, and the direction we're heading depends on what destination you want to go, right? there are people, you know, you might set out for a journey.
As a businessman, if you use, for instance, the aviation sector, do you think things are better now? You know, there were problems before. The airlines, particularly the foreign ones, could not repatriate funds and all of that.
So that's the question. It depends on the destination.
Yeah.
Because to some people, that the government is doing well is that they have a loophole to exploit. To others, is because they're in a position to benefit. But for us as aviation specifically, I can tell you that a lot has gone really in the right direction. A lot is better. 2 years ago, we were barely
breathing.
Yes. We are breathing because you wake up today, you don't know the price of dollar tomorrow, the rate of dollar tomorrow. You don't know the price of jet A1. You don't even have access to money, the foreign exchange, which is 90-something component of your operational cost. You don't have all those things, all right? So, and then you can't fix your price properly. I remember in one of my meetings, my meeting with the CBN governor, I said, look, we, the operators, if you want dollar to be 1,500, let it be 1,500. If you want it to be 2,000, let it be 2,000. So I can plan. So, but today, it's a different ballgame. If you remember the hullabaloo about the trap fund by the foreign airline, it's been cleared. And we, in the aviation industry, we have access, unrestricted access to foreign exchange. That is good. The issue is that if as much money, having Naira, as much money you can get in dollars. And then on the other biggest picture, because there is a stability, you can present a business plan with some predictable earnings in the future. The banks are happy with it. More banks now are coming into supporting the process. So for me, I can say for aviation, we might not be there where we want to be now, because there are still issues of over taxing and fees that we're paying that leaves little or no money in our hands, but still go back to the government. We still think that they have to give us a window to assess Naira on a single-digit area, because we still scramble for loans at 35%. So that's why when Nigerians are thinking of cost of ticket, they don't remember that we pay 35%. So for any ticket you buy, 35% is already for the bank. Other percentage added, and we're left with just 2% or nothing. So I really think that we cannot say holistically, but we have to put it in compartment. For aviation, I think we can say that we have it. That's why we're...
You know, I made a promise that...
It's very vibrant.
You know, I made a promise that one day we'll come back very soon to talk about this aviation sector. But for now, we have to go. Because
when we come back, I will tell you how happy we are with our minister, and because she's doing well, and the agencies. And obviously, it's not performing without the support of the president. So this government, there are still more to be done, but we're happy with them from aviation side. And obviously, it's helping the economy, right? Adding so much to the GDP.
Thank you so much, Prof. We really appreciate your time. Professor Obiora Okonkwo is a politician, businessman, academic, and of course, in addition to that, he speaks for the airline operators of Nigeria as their spokesperson. Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Gbenga. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so much. That's Jigsaw for today. Thanks for investing your time with us. We'll see you around. My name is Gbenga Aruleba. Enjoy the rest of the day.